Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into my podcast, Xena Life as a Dominatrix. This is episode 76, and this will be published today on January 9th, 2026. This is the first podcast episode of the new year. Before I begin discussing today's topic, I just want to note that on all of my podcast episodes, you will see a link that states support the show today. Once you click on the link, it leads right to my Venmo page. So thank you all very much for tuning in, subscribing, and supporting my show. And also, I just wanted to wish you all a very happy and healthy 2026. I still can't believe it's 2026. And just wanted to say Happy New Year. And just the other day, I created an Instagram page. Some of my friends thought that it was a fake page, but it is not a fake page. The Instagram page is Life as a Dominatrix. That is the username. So feel free and follow me on there as well. All right, let's get to it. Today's topic, the first topic of 2026 that I would like to discuss is boundaries. I think it's still very important to know your boundaries, respect your own boundaries, and, sure, it's all right to push your own limits here and there and play with the partner and respect your partner's boundaries as well. The reason why I chose boundaries is just the other day I was playing with an individual who's brand new into this lovely world of BDSM, the scene, and I had expressed to him, like, hey, you got to know your boundaries. You got to, sure, it's okay to try a fetish here and there, but if you're not into it, and it doesn't do anything for you or it's too painful, then maybe don't do it again. And if you're playing with a newbie, brand new person into this scene, and you got to communicate and ask that person what's their boundaries as well. So boundaries is hard limits or soft limits. So hard limits is like a huge no-no. Soft limit is like, okay, maybe I'll try it a little bit, and if I'm into it, but maybe I'll just try it once and not do it again. And when somebody expresses their soft limits, I usually, I try it just a little bit to push their own limits. And if they're not into it, I tell the person, hey, you got to say your code word. And it's very important to respect the person's code word. So in the session, I gave a BDSM 101, not pop quiz, but a rundown on, what to do in the BDSM scene, in a scene. And it's important to give the person a code word or safe word, and it's important to respect that safe word. And also trust. Trust is very important. So, like for instance, if you're tied up, you got to trust the person not to leave you there all by yourself. And so that's, trust is huge. Communication is huge. Playing safe, sane, and consensual, huge. Respecting boundaries is huge. So let me discuss some examples of some hard limits that some people have. For instance, bodily fluids. So exchanging bodily fluids. So let's see, spit play. That could be a hard limit. So spit play, getting spat on, drinking somebody's saliva. That's an example of a boundary. If you're not into it, then don't do it. Or scat play. Scat play is poop. So that's another fetish, and that's a pretty extreme kind of fetish. Very, like, a lot of people don't understand that fetish, but some people are into that. And a lot of people, that's their hard limit. So if you're not into that, you got to say, hey, I'm not into getting pooped on, or golden shower, getting pissed on. That, you got to express that. And if somebody, if the person you're playing with says, hey, I'm going to pee on you, I'm going to piss all over you, and then you have to, communicate, say, hey, that was one of my limits. So don't be afraid of communicating. Don't be afraid of expressing your limits, your boundaries. And if the person doesn't respect your boundaries, meaning they don't listen to your boundaries, then that person is just not right for you. And the chemistry is very important. Trust is very important. Another bodily fluid example, let's see, getting ejaculate on you, cum, or blood play. So that's another thing. It's pretty blood play extreme, pretending that somebody's a vampire and biting into your flesh and sucking your blood, pretending, the vampire fantasy, vampire fetish, that's a thing. And if that's not, your forte, you got to express that. As well as another boundary, hard limit, permanent harm, permanent damage, such as, let's see, getting branded or carved or castrated. That's actually a fetish. Personally, I just won't do that. Or carving or branding is just not my thing. Some people like to be carved, like the mistress's initials on their body, or tattooed. And, I can understand temporary tattoos, that's fine, but as long as it'll come off. But branding is, something that I just won't do, as well as castration. So in the past, I've received emails where the fantasy was, oh, can you please castrate me? I say, go see a doctor. I don't do that. It's in my website. My limits are on my website. Did you read my website? It says no castration. That's a fantasy of losing your testicles, and to each its own. And that's just, that's another hard limit. Another hard limit, race play. Some people love being belittled like that. That's a race humiliation, being called, I'm not going to say the names, but that's just a hard limit for me personally. I just won't do that. And some people love that. They love to be humiliated like that, belittled, if they're black, white, Jewish, Muslim, whomever you're playing with, and they're into that type of racial humiliation. That's just not my forte. And for the new dominatrixes who are getting into the scene, it's also very important to express your limits and your hard limits and your soft limits, and mention it on your personal website. And just mention it. If you're not comfortable with any type of humiliation, just mention it. There are some form of humiliation where I do offer, for instance, slapping a slave in the face. That's if they're into it. Or pulling their hair. Again, that's if they are into it. Let's see, another boundary. Blackmailing. So blackmailing is actually illegal. Like, for instance, a slave might email, oh, I'll give you all my personal information, but don't tell my wife. Oh, please don't tell my wife. I'll do anything. And it's like, no, that's illegal. I'm not going to do that. And for some people, that is a fetish that gets them off. And I don't recommend it whatsoever. And to each its own, again. But some people, it's all in the fantasy. But when reality hits, that could definitely hurt somebody's marriage permanently. Or also, I've received an email also in the past. Oh, I have all these photos. Please don't send them to my employer. Please don't send them to my boss. Again, it's all fantasy. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's blackmailing. No, 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 it's illegal. So that's a hard limit. Let's see. Also, let's talk about soft limits. So, soft limits, like some people are into getting spanked, but not having the marks last for a whole day or two. So, I would recommend light spanking instead of heavy duty spanking. So, light spanking, spanking with your bare hands, or a soft suede flogger that is made of suede leather. These are examples of soft materials. A soft, let's see, what else? A hairbrush, but don't spank so heavily. So when you spank heavily, the marks can last for over a day. And the reason why some people give, oh, please don't make them last for over a day or two is because they go to the gym and they don't want their gym buddies to see the marks on their butt. Or they don't want their wives to see the marks and they're sneaking away from their wives to play with the dominatrix and they don't want the marks to be visible on the butt. So light spanking, you gotta respect that and yeah, take it from there. I would just recommend using your bare hands. That's my personal favorite thing to do. Using my bare hands for spanking, and that's what I would recommend. Also, another soft limit example, breath play. So that's another fetish. So breath play meaning covering somebody's mouth with your bare hands, or if you wear leather gloves, the person can smell your leather gloves, but not suffocating them. You want to give them some air, and that's very important, of course. And breath play is a fetish. Some people are into it. Some people don't understand it. Again, to each its own. And why I mention soft limit is because it's common sense not to, do breath play for 2 minutes straight or even a minute and a half straight. The person needs oxygen, the person that you're playing with. And it could be very dangerous. You do it very carefully, and you got to know what you're doing. In the past, I had an email saying, "Oh, please put a plastic bag over my head." And I said no, but if I were to do so, I would put a lot of holes in the plastic bag so you could breathe. And the person said, "No, no, 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 I don't want to breathe." I said, "Nope, then this is not going to work because my sessions are safe. And having no air is just not safe." So, yeah. And even in the BDSM scene, some people are just not into breath play. That's just not their thing. So I totally get that. Another form of breath play is, let's see, face sitting. So when you sit on a slave's face, you want to say, "Hey, tap me if it's too much. Tap me if you want me to get up from sitting on your face." And, obviously the person below you needs a little bit of air to catch their breath. So you want to, respect the person's boundaries. And, yeah. So boundaries is very important. Another example of a limit, let's see. Exchanging money. So some people in the lifestyle, they don't exchange money whatsoever. So that's just not their thing. And that's another limit. Or let's see, what else? Needle play. So I've talked about that in the past in one of my episodes where I just won't do it. I won't do it. That's my hard limit. And needle play is popular in the nurse fetish kink scenes. So some men love to be play pierced. Some men love needles on their genitalia and also on their nipples. I just won't do it. Not my thing. I've seen it done, and I just have to look away. That's just one of my hard limits. It's just like makes me feel squeamish. So I would, for the new folks that are, getting into BDSM in this new year, know your boundaries, communicate your boundaries. And you have a partner, you got to respect their boundaries as well. Very important. Very important. And play safely, sanely, and consensually. Another limit some people might have is foot fetish. Foot fetish is popular in the kink community, but some people are just not into feet. So, excuse me. So, the new dominatrixes out there, if you're into feet, but the person that you're playing with is just not into feet, don't make the person suck on your toes if they're not into it. So that's not respecting their boundaries. So you got to respect their boundaries. And sure, you're in charge, you're the boss. I get that, but you got to also respect the slave's boundaries. So to each its own. Some people are into feet, dirty feet, smelly feet, clean feet, big feet, small feet, wide feet, thin feet, size 6 feet, size 11 feet, all types of feet out there. Some people are into it, and some people, they just don't understand the kink. So don't do it. Also, CBT, not cognitive behavior therapy in psychological terms, but CBT, cock and ball torture in BDSM terms. So CBT, for example, getting kicked in the nuts. Some people, they say, oh, I want to have babies. I don't want to lose my balls. You're not going to lose your balls from a light kick or a heavy kick, but you got to be careful down there for the dominatrixes listening. You got to, if they're into being kicked in the balls, okay, cool. That's great. If they're not into it, don't do it. CBT, so another example is getting tied up down there. Some people love to get tied up down there, but not get kicked in the balls or punched in the balls. Don't do it. But sure, bondage down there is very exciting and a turn on for a lot of people. So, just respect the limits, respect the boundaries, and slaves out there, it's very important to play with individuals that you trust, that know what they're doing. For example, holding a flogger and using it properly, that's important, if you want to, important to learn how to use the flogger, and the person that they don't know how to use a flogger, maybe you could teach them how to use the flogger, or there's, flogging tutorials on YouTube, I'm sure, where you can learn how to use a flogger properly, or a paddle properly, or a whip properly. And it's common sense not to hit the kidneys. So the kidneys, if you hit the kidneys, well, that'll put somebody in the hospital, and that's the last resort. You don't want to do that. So you got to learn how to use the whip properly and not aim at the kidneys whatsoever. So that's the bottom of the back, and you don't want to injure somebody. You don't want to do that whatsoever. So know what you're doing, respecting boundaries, listing your own boundaries, and dominatrixes out there, newbies, experienced ones. You don't have to say yes all the time. Yes, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. There's a word that's called no. So if you're not comfortable with doing something, don't do it. An example, smoking fetish. So in my personal experience, I'm not a smoker, and in past sessions, I would smoke in the sessions, and it would just hurt my lungs after I smoked, and I would just cough afterwards. And then I asked myself, what the hell am I doing? Why am I using somebody as a cigarette, as an ashtray? I mean, why am I smoking this cigarette and having this person eat my ashes when it's hurting me? So I stopped that session quite a while ago, and I'm just like, nope, not my thing. I'm not going to do it. So I turned down some smoking fetishists. One person a couple months ago, he said he had the audacity to say, well, why did you mention it on your website? I said, no, I didn't. I said that was one of my limits. Did you read my website? I have past photos of me holding a cigarette and smoking a cigarette, but these past photos are from long ago. And yeah, so that's one of my limits. So, and obviously I didn't see the person with that attitude, and yeah, and there. So I'm sure that the person went to somebody else that offers that type of fetish. So not every dominatrix offers the same fetish. Some dominatrixes offer foot fetish, and some don't because they don't like that. They don't enjoy it. Or some dominatrixes, they offer, let me see, let's give another example, golden showers. So pissing on somebody. And some other dominatrixes, that's their limit. It's like a no. So slaves, you got to respect the dominatrix's limits, their boundaries, and vice versa. So yeah, so this was episode 76, the first episode of this new year, 2026. So I hope you all learned a little something in this episode, and it was great to talk about. Again, play with a person that you could trust, that is experienced, or a newbie that is willing to learn, and respecting limits and the code words. Give a code word and always play safely, sanely, and consensually. So thank you all for tuning into my little podcast. And again, you could follow me on Instagram. The username is Life as a Dominatrix. And thank you all very much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. And again, Happy New Year.